Okay. My network wants to disappoint me. What's my God? All right, guys. I'm just going to be like following up in the chat. So if you can't hear me at any point or you can't see the screen, Emmanuel, I'm going to make you my class rep for this class. So if there's any issue, just drop it in the chat box. If anyone is asking questions, just help me to answer. And of course, don't get distracted so that you can focus on the class. Yeah. All right, let's get right to it. Good evening, everyone. I want to officially welcome first class. Please let's ensure we remain muted. Yes, and I'll be taking it. And today's class is about product management, basically introduction to product management. Just before I go on, how many of us were around for the orientation? You don't have to know unmute. Just let me see your hands in the chat box. How was it? What was your expectation about, in this class? I just want to see it in the chat box just to know that everyone is with me. What's your expectation like? It was wow. Thank you, Soraya. I saw your post, Samuel. Thank you. Rose, I saw your response on Kabiru. Remember, I saw you in class. David, I saw you in class. So we know each other. We go way back. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Olorunfemi, Christina. Thank you so much, guys. All right, let's get right to it. Wherever you're taking notes, ensure that you're taking notes now. They say the pen is mightier than the sword. And if you have questions at any point, just ensure that you jot down your questions so that when we get to the Q&A session, you don't forget. And then I would attend to every single question. And if it happens that we can't, answer everyone's question, that's why we have the Slack channel. You can ask on the Slack channel. I try my best to respond to everyone. So, all right, guys, let's just get right to it. Yeah. So I said this course aims to provide you with an in-depth understanding of the principles, practices, and tools involved in product management. So what are we going to be looking at today? We're going to be looking at what product management is. We're going to be looking at the product development lifestyle. We're going to be looking at the product life cycle and its management. And we're going to be looking at the future of product management because we're in an industry that is ever evolving. So we want to know that, okay, this is what product management will look like, by projecting into the future so that as a product manager who is going to be working in the shop, you can know the skills that you need to get, you can know places you need to start looking into to start working, right? All right. Our next slide. What is product management? Simply put, product seeing the life cycle of a product and championing throughout the process. If you guys remember, I mentioned that we're going to be talking about something called life cycle, and I intentionally put it here in our definition. So just hold life cycle in your left hand. We're going to be talking about it in a few minutes. It's a section on its own. Important. So product management means overseeing products and championing customers' needs throughout. Now, for everyone that is going to be made available, the recording is going to be made available to manager is responsible. Yeah, a PM, like we all call it, in the tech industry. At work, that's what they call me, PM. So you need to start getting used to the word PM. So a PM oversees the product and all stages of its life cycle. Remember, see the word life cycle again. We're going to get to it. From the initial product development to product decline. Understanding the customer problem your product will solve is the most important job for a PM. Your focus is on the product and its customers. Like as a product manager, they always call you the CEO of the product. And even though some people argue that that is overdated, or that is, that is just to make you feel better, as a product manager, you have to understand that your ability to oversee, to manage, to lead, to direct, to provide the vision and mission of your product in a company, it's so important. It can't be overemphasized. You understand? And before we go on, for anyone who does not know what a product means, a product just means what a company is offering. For example, Apple's products are technological gadgets. Talk about the MacBook, talk about the iPhone, the iPad, the iPod, that's their products. A company where I work at Swipe. Swipe's product is offering, expense management and, physical cards to businesses. Let me use another relatable topic. Payday. I'm sure that a lot of us know Payday. As a product, as a PM, you need to be up to date about what's going on in the tech industry. So Payday, what does Payday do? Payday just is currencies. So you own a Payday card, transactions or make international payments, basically.
Excuse me, sorry for breaking in. Please, the audio is breaking, so we can hardly hear you.
It's very okay. Guys, just give me a minute. Let me switch my network. Let me just switch my network. All right, guys, please let me know if it's better now. Can you guys hear me better now? Just put it in the chat box. Two networks at the same time. Okay, guys. Thank you for the feedback. All right, I'm just going to go back a slide so that I can just recap what I just said. So I said product management means overseeing the lifestyle of a product and championing customer needs throughout the process rather. And I just try to define what a product is. I used Apple as a good example that, Apple is a company that has products such as the MacBook, such as iTunes, such as, who can give us, more products that Apple produces? Let me just see it in the chat box just so that you guys understand what a product is. You can even give an example of Google. What are the products under Google? Let me give you an example. Gmail, there's YouTube Music. How about Meta? I just want to see some examples in the chat box. How about Meta? What kind of products does Meta give? Yes, Christina, iPhone, AirPods, thank you. Google Maps, thank you. Facebook, iGames. Meta has Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. Yes, thank you so much, guys. We are on the same page. So those are examples of products. Now, a product manager is a person that oversees the lifestyle of that product and champions the customer needs, throughout the process, throughout the life cycle of that product. Thank you so much, guys. And now to the next slide. Who is a product manager? Of course, a product manager is responsible for product management. And like I said, a PM is what a product manager is popularly called. I was saying in my workplace, they call me PM. So as you're transitioning into product management, you need to like keep it at the back of your mind that, oh, when they say PM, it's you they are talking to. So a PM oversees the product and all stages of its life cycle, from the initial product development to product decline. And if you guys can, you can notice that okay. And if you guys see, you can see that the word life cycle is coming up over and over again. So I said it at the beginning that I needed to hold the life cycle in your hand, in your left hand, not your right hand, so that those of you that are eating in this class, it will not easy to eat. Yeah. So I also said understanding the customer problem your product will solve or is solving is the most important job for here. Someone is unmuted. Your focus is on the product and its customers. Again, this cannot be overemphasized. Your focus is on the product and its customers. You guys will understand what I mean as we go on. So what is the role of a product manager? In a company, a product manager is finding this balance. What is the balance? This balance right here. I hope you guys can see my toggle over the screen. I have UX, which is user experience. I have tech, and there's yeah. You've seen this chart over and over again, trying to describe what product management. I'm really being distracted by everyone that is not muted. I don't know how to focus when there's noise, but I'm just gonna try to keep up. I'm really sorry, guys. So UX is
recording in progress.
Tech is, the technological aspect of your company. I'm talking about the developers, the designers, your QA engineers. Don't worry if these words sound very new. You are going to definitely get to know about them the more we go into the class. And then business, this is where your stakeholders come in, the people that are releasing the money, your founder, your boss, your investors. And as a product manager, you are right in the middle of it all, finding the balance. So I said, while the team will focus on how of creating or updating a product, a PM will keep their focus on why. They are present at every step of the product development to ensure that products deliver value to the customer. Again, a product manager will find the balance between the business goals. The business goal basically means that, okay, what are we trying to achieve in this company? Yeah. Then the user experience, okay, with what we are trying to achieve, how are our users feeling while experiencing our products? And then technology. Technology is basically how we are now achieving this goal. For example, Google, let me use Google Maps and just use that to explain what business goal, user experience, and the technology is. Now, the business goal of Google Map is to help you find location. It is also integrated on apps like Bolt, Uber, and the likes, yeah? Now, what is the user experience? The user experience is that as a user, when I have a Google account, I can log into Google Maps and I can get to find my location. I can navigate myself around the new environment. I can even, what's that word? I can even get to know the time it will take me from one distance to another. I hope that we are together. If we're together, just let me hear your response in the chat box. If we're together, if you understand what I'm saying, please just let me get your response in the chat box. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Christiana. Thank you, Benga. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. And then what is the technology? The technology is Google Map application. So when you go to your App Store or your Google Play Store, you find Google Map there and you are able to download it. You are able to input certain alphabets or certain letters. You are able to navigate around it. You are able to pinpoint your location. That is the technology. A product manager is right in the middle of this business goal, user experience, and the technology. So I remember Someone messaged me and she was like, she wants to transition into tech, but she feels like, product management is not stressful. Like I do usually say, bombastic side eye. Product management is stressful because you are literally in the middle of everything. You are working with everybody. You are up, they don't know. Thank you, Christina. You are literally working with everybody. You will sleep and you'll be dreaming of meetings. That's really the life. But if you love what you're doing, like I do, honestly, you're going to have an amazing time. You're going to have a swell time. Imagine how the product manager that built WhatsApp is feeling like right now. You built an app that over 2 billion people in the world are using. Like you led the team that built it. That's the kind of sense of fulfillment you get as a product manager. So, all right, I just use that to, Hello, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
God will not agree for MTN today. Good question, Nelly. Good question. Is a PM job similar to that of a customer service? Okay. Like I said, if you have any questions, please just write them down. They might get lost in the chat box. So please just write them down. I would answer them at the end of the class. But I just want to confirm if you guys can hear me now. I'm so sorry. It's MTN. In fact, I'm switching in between two MiFis right now. And they are both giving me problems. Let me just, you guys can hear me now. You don't have to unmute. You don't have to unmute. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. Alrighty. Let's go there. Devil is a liar today. We would enjoy this class. All right. Important aspects of product management, churning out ideas. If you have experience working in a startup, or even if you don't, as a product manager, okay, what was the slide before this? The slide before this was about the role of a product manager, where I was talking about finding the balance between business goals, user experience, and technology. Let me know if you guys got my explanation there. I used Google Maps as an example. Did you guys get my explanation about finding the balance? All right. Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Bukola. Thank you, Christiana. All right. Now, this is the next slide. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for your patience. Your encouragement is making me not frustrated. Okay. Yeah. So important aspects of product management, churning out ideas. I don't know how many of us know about churn rate. Churn rate is basically the rate at which you are losing customers in your company. So as a product manager too, you must be the person that churns out business ideas, because everyone will always have an idea of what the application or what your product should be like. For example, now for Google Maps, someone might say, people should be able to upload selfies on Google Maps so that they can show where they are. But as a product manager, you should be able to say, No, we don't want to show the faces of people so that we don't put them at security risk. So as a product manager or in product management, you are responsible for churning out ideas. You know, after doing your product discovery, after doing your product research, you can say that, okay, I understand that this idea sounds good, but I don't think that this is what the market needs. So you must be able to say no as a product manager. And that is where churning out ideas mean. Now, the second aspect of product management is developing the product. And we're going to talk about product development in a minute. Two things I said we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the life cycle, and now we're going to talk about the product development. Give me a minute, guys. I need to make someone. Okay. I've done that. All right. Then I said prioritizing the product and the features. Back to my example of Google Maps. What are the features? Who can tell me the features that Google Map has? I mentioned some of them before. Who can tell me features of Google Map? You know, what you can do with your Google Map. Who can tell me some? Pinpoint location, destination time. Thank you. How about traffic? You understand? Help location. Yes. It also helps you know, check the best routes. Awesome, guys. Distance covered. Yes. I remember when I was using my Samsung, I would get like a summary of the distance I covered in a month. Summary of your monthly travels. Awesome, Mohammed. Audio directions. Yes. Especially when you are using boats. Take the right turn to Takuba Ojo Street. Definitely. That's the work of a Google Map. Search close by landmarks. That's really amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Places review. Yes, you can get to know review about certain places and landmarks around you. Yes, brilliant. So I want you to know that there are probably 1,000 and more features that the team that worked on Google Map worked on. But it's the product manager that sits down and says that, okay, these ideas are good, but these are the ones that are most important. For example, what is a map that cannot tell you where you are and where you are going to? So as a product manager, you prioritize, you set your priorities, and you say, okay, at the top of what we are going to build, you know, location should be at the top. And next to it, people should be able to get estimation of how long it will take them to get there. Then another way we can prioritize our feature is, you know, adding the audio so that when people are driving, they don't have to keep checking their phones. Do you understand? Are you guys getting my line of thoughts? They don't have to keep checking their phones, and audio will just announce to them that, oh, you're going to make a U-turn in the next 300 meters. So as a product manager, your job is also to prioritize these things. Thank you so much. I can see that we are together in the chat box. And then finalizing the product and features. So when you have prioritized the features and the product that are going to be worked on, as a product manager, you also get to finalize it. And how do you finalize it? Your stakeholders, your engineers, your team members, your designers, you guys have a meeting, and then you say, okay, we have chosen to work on these features. How long is it going to take us? What is it going to take for building? When are we going to be building it? You get what I'm trying to say. So that's the point where you finalize the product and the features. Now, to my next slide, I said, you also deliver the product. I mean, what's the point of building something without delivering it? Yeah. So as a product manager and in product management, you are also in charge of delivering the product. And most importantly, remember that I also mentioned customer feedback, you know, ensuring that your product is solving what your customer needs. When you have now launched your product, you must also, you know, provide your customers with the ability to get feedback. I don't know how many of you have started using maybe WhatsApp or Instagram or Twitter, and they ask you, oh, are you enjoying the app? Or they ask you to rate the app. I don't know how many of you have done that. Yes, that is an amazing way where people gather customer feedback. in some really, really deep aspects of product management that you will get to, some companies go as far as releasing, the better, like a controlled version, a mini version of that app. Then they have like calls with people and say, oh, come and test our app. Help us, help us understand what we are not doing better. Yes, Facebook survey. Thank you. You remember that even if you call customer service of Glo, of MTN, or even your bank, they always tell you that the call is being recorded, you understand, for customer feedback purposes. That's another way that product managers gather customer feedback. So you can see that product management is all around you. As a product manager, you have to have your product antenna on. You need to be able to see product management in every area of your life. Yeah. For those of us that like going to Chicken Republic, if you notice nowadays, there's always a scan code on your table that tells you to scan and give feedback about your food. That's another way that you gather customer feedback. So you need, like I said, your product antenna has to be on. You need to be able to see things and say, this is the work of a product manager. And that is how you learn, basically. That is how you grow. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. I am enjoying the energy in the chat box. And like I said, another important role or another important aspect of product management is analyzing the product usage. So this is going to be more explained when we get to our topic about data analysis. So when you have launched your product, you want to know which aspects are people using the most, which aspects are people not using. For example, if you have an application that sends OTP, who can give me an example of an application that sends OTP to you? Where you use OTPs. Let me see if you guys understand what I'm saying. Piggyverse, yes, bank apps.
Bank app.
Yes. So imagine that you launch an app that is supposed to use OTPs and your users are not getting OTPs. For example, you realize that, 100 users signed up, but at the end of the day, 5 users were able to access the app. What does that mean? Is that not a problem? Like, as a product manager, that is big problem. That will make you now analyze your application. What is happening? What's causing the drop-offs? Do you understand? Serious big, exactly. Wahala. Wahala, serious one. So when you analyze your product, when you analyze your app, it helps you understand that, okay, we are able to market our product. People are coming in to use the product, but they are not. Then you now get to discover that, there is a bug somewhere and our users are not receiving OTP. That is another important aspect of product management. Do you understand me? And if you guys notice, have you ever tried to order something, maybe on Jumia, and you add to cart and you see that you did not eventually order that thing, and you get an email telling you that, you left so and so in your cart? Exactly. That is a product manager analyzing product usage. They are able to see that, you've gotten to this aspect of the product, but you are not moving forward. Let's send an email to encourage you to place that order. I hope that you guys are seeing the examples that I'm giving to help you understand, the important aspects of product management. Thank you so much, guys. Good tracking. Yes, that's amazing. All right. So I said, now I've been mentioning life cycle. And now we are here to talk about the product. Can you help me mute that person? Thank you. Now, I said the product development process or life cycle is a step-by-step plan. A step-by-step plan. When I say step-by-step, this means that you cannot. The slide before this was a mistake. It was a mistake, guys. It was a mistake. As you can see, I didn't really put anything here. Yeah, it was a mistake I put. Oh my God. All right, I guess we can move forward now. Thank you, Emerald. Yeah, so I said the product development process or product development cycle, life cycle, is a step-by-step plan that involves taking a product from initial concept to the final market launch. Please hold that at the back of your mind. Initial concept to final market launch. If you're with me, just reiterate what I said in the chat box now. From where to where is the product development life cycle or the product development process? Initial concept to final market launch. The product development process. Yes, thank you, David. Thank you, Mustafa. Thank you, Rachel. From initial concept to the final market launch. And as a product manager, you should note that no two product launch, or let's say no two product development, is always the same, because the product development of a fintech will be different from a health tech, say health tracker. So if you are a product developer, if you're a product manager that's worked in PiggyVest, of course you would be part of the product development, but the way it will go, I mean, the details, the nitty-gritty is going to be different from when you're working on like health tracker, or when you're working on an insurance application, or when you're working on a mobility application. Yeah. However, following these steps as a template will help to take your ideas from product or ideas to the final market launch. So it will help you take your ideas from the initial concept to the final market launch. All right. Now, can you guys still hear me, please? Thank you, Rufus. Thank you, Taiwo. Yeah, thank you, Emerald. All right. This is the beautiful product development process. This is the product development process. Idea generation. So the idea generation might not even be done by you as a product manager. It might not even be done by you as a product manager. And why did I say that? It might be done by the founder of the company. In fact, in most cases, idea generation is always by the founder of the company. They are the ones that a need, or they have a light bulb moment where they say, it's going to be nice to be able to do so. Yeah. For example, I remember watching, the founder of Health Tracker. Please remind me her name again. Founder of Health Tracker. I remember watching the founder of Health Tracker, and she was talking. You can't hear me. Is that from my end? Can anyone else hear me? Okay, Kingsley, I'm guessing that's your network because everyone else can hear me. For people that are just joining in, please, thank you, James Oluwatosin. Yes, for people that are just joining in, please ensure that your name is, your full name is written. So James, you might want to add your surname behind your name so that when we're taking down attendance, we can know which James, because as some people, we have like 3 Wuraolas in cohort 1. So please ensure that your full name is joining. Just edit your name for attendance purposes. Thank you so much, guys. So I remember watching Oluwatosin, and she spoke about how, Health Tracker came into being. For those of you that don't know about Health Tracker, you can check about it on LinkedIn. It's basically an application that brings, health to your home. It makes access to healthcare easy. So if you want to have a test, or you want to take maybe an HIV test, STD test, malaria test, they just send it to your house. You don't have to, you don't have to leave your house. Yeah. I mean, I would love to mute everyone, but I can't leave the sharing of my screen. So please, let's just make do with what we have now. Yeah. You don't have to write your name here, Oluwasegun. Okay. So, and something is for Money Africa, Ifeoluwa Dari Johnson. Thank you. Thank you guys for helping me with the information. So, and she mentioned how her dad, I think maybe had a heart attack or something, and they were not able to access, healthcare, and the dad died. And she just thought about it that, okay, how about we have, a solution healthcare to people in their homes, so that they know, imagine that you are trying to give birth and you are caught up in Lagos traffic, yeah, or maybe there's an emergency and you are caught up in somewhere that you can't leave. But imagine that you have on your fingertips, you can just, order for something and they bring it right to your house. And that's where idea generation came from, yeah. Now, product definition, this is the stage where you brainstorm and you say, okay, we have an amazing idea. We have figured out, that the market needs this. There is a need for this. How do we now develop it? Do we build an application? Is our application going to be on iOS app, or do we just have a website? Are we going to deliver it through SMS? For a product like Safe Border, they must have started thinking of, if we are going to be delivering transportation solution here in Ibadan, we are also going to be needing to collaborate with, we will need to collaborate with Okada men. Do you understand? We will need to collaborate, with, we will need to give them phones. We will need to teach them how to use the phone. That's where product definition happens. This is where you also start bringing in your team members, your designer, your engineer, your software engineer, and the product manager. That's where you define the product. I want to know if you guys are with me. Do you now understand the difference between idea generation and the product definitions? All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, the third stage is the prototyping. So the prototyping is basically where the designer now comes in. Victoria is saying that she does not understand. Okay, so let me go over it again. I said idea generation is where you discover that, there is a need for this product in the market. There is a need for this product. Idea generation is the point where Steve Jobs figured that, okay, how about I build something like Apple? That's the idea generation stage. I don't know what led to him building Apple, but that's basically the idea generation stage. So the product definition stage is where he said, okay, if I want to deliver something like Apple, let me be the first iPhone. And I think then we had maybe iPhone 5 or 4, and he defined the product, they redefined it. And then we had iPhone 6, they redefined the product. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me, please? Thank you, Olorofemi. All right, we're good. The definition stage is where they redefine the product and they said, please, if you have questions, just put, like I said, we would have a Q&A session. I might lose track of them, so don't put them in the chat box.
No.
Product definition is where they say, okay, some people complained about the iPhone 6 that it was too small. How about we have an iPhone 7 that is going to be bigger? Yeah? Are you guys understanding the thoughts behind product definition now? Let me know if you understand the thought behind product definition. Thank you, Babajide. Now, prototyping. If you are a designer, okay, thank you, Victoria. I'm glad that you now understand. If you are a designer or you move with designers, you probably have heard a lot of prototype, wireframes, Figma, you understand? Prototyping is basically the point where you now want to show what your product is going to look like. Yeah, this is the point where you want to show what your product is going to look like. And a designer will now help you sketch. You might have a low fidelity wireframe, you might have a mid fidelity wireframe, you might have a high fidelity wireframe that just shows you that, okay, when users sign up, this is the first page they are going to see. Or when they come on our website, this is what they are going to be saying. This is how they sign up. Do they need a Gmail to sign up? For example, if you are using Instagram, you need a Gmail to sign up. But if you're using an app like Safe Border, all you need is your phone number. So it's at the point of prototyping that you start fleshing this out. Okay, fidelity wireframe. Hold that. You're going to understand that in your design class. I can't answer that yet. It's an entire topic on its own. Do you understand? We're going to define that in your design class. Now, we now move to the initial development. Now that the designer has worked on the prototype, you understand? We can see on on paper that this is what the product is going to look like, then the engineers are now going to start coding, and they are going to start saying, oh, okay, let's start building it, let's start developing it. That's why they call them developers. Actually, they are the ones that figure out the development of the product, the technical development of the product. And after that has been done, you now have your MVP. Your MVP is the minimum viable product. That is a product that, that has the basic features. You understand? That has the basic features of what your product is going to look like. And then we now move to validation and testing. Fine, we have a good product, but back to idea generation. Is it meeting the need that we want it to meet in the market? I hope that you guys are following my flow of thought. I said we have developed the product. Now we move to validation. And what is validation? Yeah, I said, can someone answer what an MVP is? I want to know if you guys followed me. What's an MVP? Thank you, Motorayo. A minimum viable product. And a minimum viable product is a product that has the basic features. The basic features. That's why they say minimum. So it has the minimum features. It has the basic. It doesn't have it all. It has the basic features. As a product manager, you need to understand what that means. No, I would answer these questions, please. I can't keep answering and teaching at the same time. So just hold your questions. Yeah. So at this point, someone mentioned that the QA is going to test. Oh, hope this application that we built does not have too many bugs. The product manager is also going to test. Hope this product that we built, hope it is meeting the needs that we want it to meet. The designer is also going to test. Hope this product that was built, does it look like the prototype? Are the buttons working as they are supposed to work? Do you understand? These are the questions that you ask at the point of validation and testing. Now, validation and testing is a stage that is very repetitive. So you validate, you test, you get feedback, and then you go back again. You develop, you validate, you test, you get feedback, and then you develop till you get to the point where you feel like, okay, we can now launch our products. And that takes us to the next and final stage of product development. Thank you, Rukoyat. You iterate. There's a saying by Oluwatobi Otokiti, the head of product at Flutterwave. You iterate until awesome. So you keep iterating, you keep getting feedback, you keep getting feedback, you keep developing, you keep getting feedback, you keep developing. Is my network breaking? Can you guys hear me? No, it's not. Okay. Oyin, I think it's your network, so you might have to leave and join again. And guys, please don't forget to log in with your full name, so that we can take your attendance. Thank you so much, guys. I hope that I've been able to explain what the product development process looks like. Idea generation, product definition, prototyping, initial development, validation and testing. Then you go back to development, you validate and you test again. You go back to development. When you now
recording in progress.
When you now feel like we have an MVP that can go into the market, an MVP that would, meet our customer needs, then you launch. Now, throughout this process, trust me, this thing I just explained under 20 minutes, it takes months. In fact, it takes years. I don't know how many of you have watched Avatar. How many of you have watched Avatar here? How many of you have seen Avatar? Yeah. So let me tell you an amazing story that most of us that are Avatar freakheads probably know about. The first Avatar was released in 2009. But guess what? The person with the idea of Avatar, James Cameron, had the idea in 1994. But he could not launch the product. The film is the product in this instance. He couldn't launch the product until almost 10 years later because there wasn't enough technology to launch it yet. So product development is something that can take years sometimes because of validation and testing.
When you called me, I was asking your friends. So I'm working out. Why is
you see certain founders say that, oh, this has been in the works for 3. In fact, another movie like
see, you have the strength. I put it in short that I was coming.
Sorry, that person. Mavi, please, can you mute yourself? Sorry guys. The same way is frustrating you, the same way is frustrating me. Imagine how I'm coping with my flow of thoughts. But thanks for the energy. It's really encouraging. Look at a movie like John Wick now. Like we always have to wait like 2 to 3 years for John Wick. That's how long the product development takes. Look at like Avatar, the first Avatar. We always have to wait for like years, and I'm like, what are we supposed to do? But as a product manager, you know at the back of your mind that on our product development, they happen. No. You understand what I'm trying to say? And now they released the first product I'm talking about Avatar now. They released the first one in 2009, and then they released the second one in 2023. Guys, that's how many years? Imagine say you born Peking for 2009. How old will the child be by now? That is how long again it took. Yes, everything is under product development, to be honest. So like I said, product development can be as short as say 3 to 4 months and can be as long as say 10 years. It's that serious. Do you understand me? And like I said, as a product manager, you are in charge of overseeing the product development through and the product lifecycle. I hope that with these examples, I'm giving you guys, the right context, the right illustration to understand what product development entails. Thank you, guys. All right, so while I was explaining product development, I made mention of certain teams, certain personnel, certain stakeholders. I made mention of certain people, certain stakeholders that are involved in the product development process. Number one, who can guess, without sharing my slide, who can guess the first person involved in product management? I feel like that's very obvious.
Product manager.
Of course. So thank you, product manager. You are in charge, literally. And that does not mean that you have to be doing everybody gra-gra. That means that you have much more responsibility. I remember a time where we were supposed to launch something on my team and we were not able to launch it. Guess the person they invited to the investors meeting to come and defend the entire team, and that was giving a lot of buzz boost. Nah, me, exactly, Wura. Nah, me. Product development has made me cry. I'm not even going to lie. You will receive engineers will show you a lot of shege. When you see a product manager tweet that they are going through shege in life, if you investigate it, it's the engineers. The engineer will show you shege. Exactly. So don't think that, I'm in charge of overseeing everything. I can do as I like. My dear, you can't. That means that you will go through a lot. Exactly. So the product manager, the project manager, and this is an amazing time for me to explain for people that don't know what's the difference between a product and a project manager. I'm sure that many of you have asked this question at one point or the other. If you have not asked it, people have asked you. Yeah. So a product manager oversees the entire product development and oversees the entire product life cycle. But a project manager, like I wrote here, is involved in the product development process. Let me go again. A product manager, in fact, you will document, you will do market research, you will communicate, you will do meetings, you will do prototyping. In fact, there might even be different products that you are managing at the same time, but a project manager is just involved in the product development process. All they have to do is ensure that, okay, the things that you need, do you have them? A project manager is not going to help you do research. A project manager is not going to help you do testing, validation and testing. They will not help you write your product requirements documents. They won't help you they won't go into the meeting and go and receive firing from you. They won't help you to say, oh, this is the sprint that we are in. They just help you manage a certain aspect of your project. They assist with task delegation. They assist with, allocation of resources. They assist with the tracking of the goals. I hope that you guys can understand. So another way that I differentiate between a product manager and a project manager is that a product manager does the task of a project manager, but a project manager cannot do the task of a product manager. If anyone got that, just write it in the comment section. Can you guys still hear me, please? A product manager can do the task or can stand in as a project manager, but a project manager cannot entirely do what a product manager does, because a product manager is much more broad. It's much more holistic. Do you understand? Exactly. And this is not to look down on the task of a project manager. Please, guys, it is not to look down. But we're just trying to say that in the grand scheme of things, a product manager is in charge of much more than a product. A product manager is in charge of much more than a project manager. Yeah. Thank you so much, Bukola. Thank you, Johnson. So design, of course, like I mentioned, they are the ones that help during the prototype and design phase. Then the development and engineering, they are the ones that work together to develop and deliver the product offering. Then marketing, they assist with developing the marketing strategy and they test it before the product goes live. They also measure the success of the marketing initiatives. Sales, product manager works with the sales team to come up with effective strategy and report on the success metrics after the product has been implemented. And of course, the oga at the tops. Somebody says senior management. Don't say it, type it. Say senior management. Say senior man. If you are not typing senior management, you don't know what you're in for. Senior management, super duper duper important. So these are the guys that are going to say, David, as a product manager, you said we are going to deliver this thing in 1 year. Please, can we do it in 4 months? Then you will now go to go and pray that God, I beg. After your developers, it's your senior management that is going to allow you to say, God, I beg, a lot of times in the day. See, your senior manager, especially your CEO, can go to the bar and his friends will be testing the product and they will say, oh man, nice, can you feature by a Lori app for my non-Yoruba speaking audience? Imagine your CEO is at the bar and his friends are, talking about his product and his friends will start making suggestions that, it would be nice to have this type of feature on your app, and your CEO will just come on Monday morning. I was having certain discussions with my friends and they believe that in your mind, I'll be like, excuse me, are your friends the product man? Is your friend the product manager? I don't understand, sir. But you cannot say that, of course. You will just, exactly, they will ask for it to be delivered in 1 week. And then you have to do a lot of back and forth. As we proceed, we're going to talk about the soft skills of a product manager and how you should manage your stakeholders. Someone asked if senior management is also stakeholder. So senior management is a part of your stakeholder. Your stakeholder involves your users, your customers, your investors, your team members. Yeah? But it's not only senior management that makes up your stakeholders, but they are a part of your stakeholder. I hope I was able to answer that question. Let me go over that again. Your stakeholder is not just made up of the senior management. It involves your users, your investors, your customers, your clients, your team, members of your team, members of your product team. But the senior management is also part of your stakeholders. Do you understand? Now, next slide, the product life cycle. Don't forget that we just finished explaining the product development process. Now we are explaining the product life cycle, the product life cycle. And if there's anyone that did basic science in school here, who can just explain in, some term what a life cycle is? Who can just explain in the chat box? I want to test the IQ of my product managers. Journey from birth to death, brilliant, David. Any other one? Phases of life, birth to death, thank you, brilliant, exactly. The entry and exit points, exactly. Motura, your ideation to launch is product development. Product life cycle is like entry to exit, life to death, the period of the product in the market. Nelly, Chris is sounding like a product manager already. The beginning to the end, Kingsley, spot on. The beginning to the stages involved in lifespan. Musa Abdullahi, beginning to decline. Yeah, brilliant. The different stages a product, exactly. Initiation to closure. I like that. Samuel, you guys are not serious. Jehovah Jireh.
Wow.
But yes,
Thank you.
I love the humor. Initial to final.
Crucially. Alpha and Omega in conception to this.
Someone has mistakenly unmuted themselves. I like that the person is having so much fun in this class, but please remember to stay muted in all your fun. So what is a product life cycle? A product life cycle is the amount of time a product goes from being introduced into the market until it is taken off the shelves. Being introduced into the market. Remember that I said in product development, there is the point of product launch. Now, it is at the point of product launch that the life cycle of a product begins. Who can say what I said again in the chat box? It is at the point of the product launch that the life cycle of a product begins. It is at the point of product launch that the life cycle of a product begins. And why did I say that? The product launch is basically the point where the product was introduced into the market. Remember, we said that during the explanation of the product development. Yeah, remember that we said that. And I mentioned here that, thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Bernice. Bernice, you made it despite the different time zone. I'm happy to see you here. I'm happy to see you here. My product tent is global. We have people that are outside Nigeria here. I love it. I love it. Okay, jokes apart. So the product life cycle is the amount of time a product goes from being introduced into the market until it is taken off the shelves. And I intentionally use the word taken off the shelves because that's a term that we can all relate with. Yeah, that's a term that we can all relate with. Now, I want you guys to think deeply. Who can tell me of a product that has been taken off the shelf? Just think so deeply. A product that has been taken, BlackBerry, oh my God. And you guys have, oh my God, these guys are so smart. iPod, a big app. Paga has not been taken off the shelf. Oh, they are still there. To go. Oh, like Eskimi. Yeah. Vodacom. Internet Explorer. Brilliant. Skype is still existing. SafeBorder is still existing just outside Nigeria. But yes, they've actually exited the market in Nigeria. So we can say they've been taken off the shelf in Nigeria. Visa phone, Ragoli's water. Sunlight is actually exiting too. BBM messaging, brilliant, guys, brilliant. Now, let us, Miss Bimbo, these are the most hilarious examples ever. Okay, guys, iPhone 5, yes, ST soap, brilliant. Now, I'm not going to tell anyone, but who can mention products that you believe that they should already be taken off they should be taken off the market because they are delivering nonsense? Who can throw shade and just let me understand? Oh my God, GT Bank. Oh, you people are very angry. You people are very angry. So if they Jumia food, I agree. If you're anybody and you're using Jumia food, you're on your own. Go and download A Food. I'm giving special shout out to A Food because I use them a lot. Yeah, but use A Food. It can be banked on. If you're in Lagos, use Chow Deck. If you are using a Jumia food, my dear, they that wait upon the Lord shall be strong. That's the scripture for you. So YouTube music, I'm not going to accept any YouTube music slander, please. Thanks. Rachel, I'm not accepting any YouTube music slander. Okay, guys, back to the class. So there are 4 stages a product's life cycle goes through. There are 4 stages in a product's life cycle. Number 1, everyone say introduction. Let me hear you say introduction in the chat box. Introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. Who can remind me the point of introduction again? I mentioned the point of introduction. If you can link it, Joy, you got it. First of all, introduction. Product launch. Thank you for remembering. The point of product launch is the point of introduction. That is when you introduce your product into the market. Now, what is the role of the product manager and if I just want to pick your brain, who can tell me a product that is probably still at the introduction life cycle stage? A product that, not many people know it yet. They just released the MVP. Tribal Pay, brilliant. I don't know about Tri-Grape, but I know that Tribal Pay is quite right. In teaser, Pepper, yeah, I know about Pepper too. ThinkDin, yes. Brilliant. Press One, I've read about them too. Farm, exactly. Oh my God, you are so tech savvy. Big Purr, products managerial Purr. Exactly, guys. These are products that are still in their introductory stage. And the product manager, like we said, Rose, please let me ask them more. I feel like some people are disguising in this in this training. You are already product managers. What are you doing here? You people know a lot already. Like so many smart people here. Please, if you're enjoying the class, let me know. Because somebody is saying the slide has not finished. Am I boring? Am I boring? Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Now, so I have mentioned introduction. Now, growth. Growth is the point where the PM releases iterations of the product to ensure growth in sales. Okay, maybe I read wrong. I'm so sorry. I read wrong. So growth is the point where the team releases iteration of the product to ensure growth in sales. Now, I want to give a very brilliant example of a product that is probably, okay, who remembered when Flutterwave released like their, I think it was 2.0 or 3.0, and they launched it and like they got funding that time too, and they became a unicorn. Who can remember? Exactly. That's like a growth stage for a startup. So you have launched into the market, you have gotten feedback from your users, you have identified more needs. Now you go back and say, okay, can we add more features to ensure that there is more growth in our sales. Yeah, that is the point. That is the stage of growth. Now, the stage of maturity, pay stack to exactly updates. You know, they will tell you that, oh, we've done 1.0, we are now at 2.0. We're after leaving 2.0, we're now at 2.1. In fact, some people go as far as doing 2.1.1, 2.1.2, until they get to 2.1.9, then they exactly WhatsApp and the community feature, brilliant. Now, the next stage is maturity. Who can tell me of startups that are probably already at maturity stage? Now, this is not to say that they still do not release features, but they've retained a lot of customers. Instagram, Google, Apple, exactly, guys. Twitter, Slack, yes, brilliant. At this point, they've retained customers. Imagine having billions of customers in the world. Piggyvest, yes. And their users already enjoy the major functionality of the product. Netflix, Wura, I know why you are saying ITV. I know why. I'm not going to expose you on this platform in case your employer is here. It's because of K-drama, I know. Flutterwave, yes. So maturity is the point where the PM now focuses on retaining customers and maintaining the functionality of the product. Now, this is a point where no product wants to get to, and that's the point of decline. Now, a PM decides to keep, kill, or reboot the product. And what does this mean? Keep the product in the market, remove the product from the market, or release a new version of the market. And Abiodun Akinyele just gave me a brilliant example of how to explain the decline of a product. Opay. Who can tell me what Opay was known for before? If you stay in Lagos or Ibadan, you must logistics, ride sharing, Okada. Exactly, guys. Now, the Lagos state government woke up one day and said, you know what, we're going to ban bike men. And who can tell me what stage Opay forcefully went into? Who can tell me? Decline. Thank you, guys. They went into decline. Now, when a product gets to the point of decline, the product manager can then say, do we keep the product in the market? Do we remove the products from the market? Or do we release a new version of the market? I hope you guys are understanding my line of thoughts. Now, who can tell me what product and what Opay decided to do? Did they keep it? Did they remove it? Or did they release a new version? Yes, Taiwo, releasing a new version is basically the same as changing the version. Thank you, Emerald. They rebranded, they released a new version. And now they moved from ride hailing to what, guys? They are now a fintech. Exactly, banking. You guys are so smart. They bust my brain. Oh my God. Oh my God, big bird. You guys are making me so happy. Yeah, they actually started as a fintech, but they didn't focus on the fintech aspect of their product. No, they were known as, as a ride-hailing company, as a company into logistics and the likes, but now they are into POS and the likes. And they saw, and because they were prepared, when traditional banks started to fail, Opay just went, and now they are back to growth and maturity stage. So the decline stage is not a stage. Now we've mentioned a product that released a new version. Who can tell me of a product where they removed it from the market entirely when it got to the decline stage? Say border to go, like we said before. Exactly. I beg, exactly. It was entirely Internet Explorer, with the likes of Safari and they had to just remove it from the market. Who can tell me a product that was kept in the market? You know, it has gotten to maturity stage and the users are actually reducing, yeah? But they still kept it in the market. Who can tell me? Yahoo! Thank you. Exactly, guys. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now, as you can see, the job of a product manager does not end once a new product has been developed. They are involved at all stages of the product life cycle. It does not end once a new product has been developed. They are involved at all stages of the life cycle. I want you to say in the chat box that as a product manager, I am involved at all stages of the life cycle. Say it. As a product manager, I am involved in all stages of my product life cycle. Yeah. Okay, guys. Yes, thank you. So now, we're getting towards the end of our class. In conclusion, guys, I really hope that you've been enjoying the class so far. You wouldn't want me to go. Oh my God, I'm so happy that you guys are enjoying the class. I said, do not become a product manager if you are primarily fulfilled by appreciation. My dear, nobody is gonna appreciate you. Of course, they might do it internally, but on the grand scheme of things, it is the CEO that people will probably appreciate. So if you believe that you need to be appreciated to do your job as a product manager, you need to learn to be so what's that word? Is it self-effacing? Someone that, you know, just does his job and does not care about getting the reward. You have to be very self-effacing. You have to be so unassuming as a product manager. You have to be able to self-support yourself, give yourself morale. You have to be able to find fulfillment in what you've done and not in the accolades of others. Exactly. Thank you for that brilliant word. Self-love, Neo Wura. You have to love yourself. You have to be able to encourage yourself. Exactly. Now, I said it again. Don't be a product manager if you believe in having your way, because you cannot always have your way. You might think something is good and your stakeholder is going to put their foot on the ground and say, no, you are going to do what I want you to do. Or you might think that something is, their best thing after, like it's the best after bread and butter or after amala and ogufe, but your users are going to say, we don't like this picture, please get out of it. So if you believe that I must always have my way, in fact, in your product development team, your designers will show you some shege, your developers are going to show you a lot of shege. You just have to learn to cave in and say, you know what, let's go with your idea. Then don't become a product manager if you like being left alone. Please, I just want to work alone. I enjoy working alone. I don't like working in teams. I don't think I like crowd around me. My dear, you are going to like crowd. You are going to have the crowd of your designer, your CEO, your COO, your CFO, your developer, your QA engineer, your CTO. You will like crowd, yeah? You will like crowd. You will like it. You can't have your own space. You can't. They will pull you into everything. They will pull you into marketing. They will pull you into engineering. You will attend stakeholder meetings. You will attend growth meetings. When it's time to pitch the product, you will go to tech conference, you go and pitch the product. You are exactly, Wura, you are a public commodity. Now, like I said, if you want to right, you cannot be a product manager.
Like, we don't used to go on. I used to. We cannot go to that.
Jennifer, Marby, you have unmuted yourself again. Naomi, please, guys, let's ensure we stay muted. Exactly. What's right? I love it. Everywhere you go, if you don't If you don't, oh my God, I'm going to rush it now. I'm hearing that it's time for breaking up fast. Okay, let me just rush it. If you enjoy designing or building things by yourself, like I said before, you don't have any business being a product manager. If you think everybody is going to like you, please don't be a product manager. If you want to avoid meetings, emails, oh, I don't like attending meetings, I don't like emails, I'm an introvert, I don't like being around people. I'm sorry, this is the best time for you to just drop out of this course because you are not in the right career tier. Maybe you should go and become a developer. All right, but if you are fulfilled by solving people's problems, your user and your team problems, become a product manager. If you enjoy building and driving business growth, become a product manager. I hope you guys are listening. If you enjoy working closely with a variety of people, if you enjoy getting the job done, leading a team through influence, communicating, oh my God, communicating, in fact, over communicating, often and broadly. If you enjoy making decisions for teams, making decisions and bearing the consequences of your decision, become a product manager. If you enjoy creating amazing experience for people, become a product manager. If you are detail-oriented, if you enjoy being organized, yes, so you will bear consequences because if you make the wrong decision, you are the one that is going to come under fire. Yeah. If you enjoy being organized, become a product manager. And if you are always prepared, because anything can happen. If somebody say anything can happen, anything can happen, but you have to always be prepared. So become a product manager. Now, this is the last slide. What is the future of product management? I'm sure that you guys have heard about ChatGPT, or ChatGPT is coming to take our jobs. ChatGPT is affecting the future. What's going to happen to people in tech? Exactly. Well. ChatGPT is not coming to take your job if you prepare ahead. Now, one major trend that is likely going to shape the future of product management is the increasing use of data and analytics to inform your decision making.
I was just going to the bedroom. Oh, no. I think I'll get to
that. Please unmuted. And this person is iPhone. iPhone, please write your full name so that you can get attendance, so that you can be marked as an attendee of this class. Sugar Bender, is that your full name? I pity you there. Anyways. Additionally, as technology continues to advance at a rapid pace, product managers will need to be well-versed in emerging technology, such as artificial intelligence, artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain. So I'm not saying that you need to become an expert in these things, but guys, you need to get to know about them. Go and read up on ChatGPT. You cannot be a product manager and don't know what ChatGPT is about. You cannot be a product manager and not know what artificial intelligence is about, not have the basic idea of what the blockchain is about. Another trend is the rise of agile methodologies. And if you attended our orientation class, you remember that we were going to be talking about agile. How many of you remember that we're going to have an agile coach talk to you guys about agile methodologies? Yes, that's why Product Sense is the best. I mean, we have seen into your future and we are preparing you ahead. Somebody say glory. No, just kidding. Yeah. And overall, the future of product management looks promising as it will continue to be a critical function for companies looking to drive growth and succeed in an increasingly competitive marketplace. So now, guys, if you are really ready to become a product manager, there is space for you. I want you guys to say it, that there is space for me. I can become a world-class product manager. There is space for me. As long as you are ready to put in the work, there is space for you. Now, the time is 6:28. So we have around 15 minutes to take our Q&A. So there is space for you, and you can become a product manager. You can become a world-class PM. So with these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince and not confuse you that this is what product management entails. If you enjoyed the class, just let me see you put in your best emoji in the chat box. Let me see you put your best emoji in the chat box. Thank you so much, guys. I'm so happy. I can see my pioneer product 10 people here. Shout out to Omolola. Shout out to David. I can shout out to Christiana. Oh my God. Rukoyat, you made it. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much, guys. I'm so glad you enjoyed the class. Okay, now, is there a Q&A box? Is there a Q&A box here? There isn't. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, if you have a question, please raise up your hands. I'm going to be taking 4 questions. I'm going to be taking, before you unmute, please, before you unmute, raise up your hands. Raise up your hands, please. Raise up your hands so that I will just ask you to unmute and then you ask your questions. So I'm going to be starting with Samuel. Samuel, just unmute and ask your question. And immediately I'm done answering your question, remember to put your hands down. And if I'm not able to get to you, please don't take it to heart. Somebody accused me that I ignored that during orientation. I'm a small girl. There will be offenses. So please forgive me ahead. Enter my DM. Enter my DM. Chioma, I can't attend to the compiled question in the chat. We've had over 500 responses in the chat and I can't go through them. So Samuel, please unmute and ask the question.
All right, thank you so much for this class. It was really wonderful and awesome. Like I have learned a lot. Like that was very nice. Like I can't just express how fulfilled the class is. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you too, Samuel. All right.
So the question is during the product development or life cycle, you mentioned validation and testing. So my question is simple, like during that stage, who are those that validate and test the products? Are they the users? Like, is it your team that will test it, or is it the users, or is there a test group that be paid for to test the product? So that's my question.
All right. Great question. Great question. So okay, so as a product manager, you need to know that there is internal and external testing. Yeah. The more you go, please, when you're done speaking, just mute yourself back so that I can go on. So the more you go and get exposed to these terminologies, yeah. So there is internal testing. So internal testing is where, like some people have said in the chat box, that's where the QA, the quality assurance person will come and test, but it's not limited to the QA. There's also design review. Yes, and that is done by the design team. There's the user, there is the testing in the staging environment. That's all the internal testing. The QA person also does testing in the staging environment, in the testing environment. They do regression testing, they do system testing, they test your code and the likes. Now there's the external testing, and that's where we test with real life users. It's called beta testing. In beta testing stage, you do your, how many of you have heard of the user acceptance testing? So these are the type of a lot of testing, to be honest. These are the type of testing that will be done in the validation and testing stage to ensure that your product is great. Yeah, I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, all right. And now I'll be going to Taiwo. Taiwo Ali Baloye. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce your name well.
It's okay. It's all right. Thank you. Thank you so much for the class. It was really interesting. Okay, so this is my question. You were talking about the product development process and you gave us, the step-by-step. And so my question is, so in a case, because we were talking about the process and how long it can take. I think you spoke about for as long as 10 years, I think. And then my question is, so supposing, say a PM that was working on, on the product and the person leaves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then how does this continue? Because you said the product management is supposed to be there all through the process.
Mm-hmm.
So can maybe another PM then continue the journey, or how does it work? I don't know if my question makes sense, but do you understand?
It makes sense. It makes absolute sense.
Thank you.
Yeah. So when I said a PM has to be present at every stage of the product development, I didn't say a single PM has to be present. Now, a PM might be present at the stage of prototyping or the initial development, but the person has to leave. Now, as a new product manager that comes on board and you see that your product is at the stage of initial development, what do? That is when you get on calls with the people that are already existing in the team. You go through the documentation that exists to familiarize yourself with the product. You go through the roadmap to know where your product has been, where it is, and where it is going to. And all this happens during the onboarding stage. You understand? So, like I said, a product manager has to be present, but it does not have to be the same product manager. In fact, even after your product has been launched, after the product has been introduced to the market, the product manager might leave. And then at the life cycle stage of growth, another product manager has to come there. Will you say, oh, because I was not available during the development, I'm not going to take on the products because it's at the growth stage? No. What you do is get to know your products, get to know your market, get to know your stakeholders, get to know the problem that is being solved. And then you can now align yourself to it and now play your role as a product manager, no matter the stage the product is. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yes, crystal clear. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. Samuel, I've answered your question. I think your hands should be down now. Please, if I've answered your question, let your hands be down. Johnson, hello.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you for the session. It has been awesome thus far.
Thank you
God
too.
bless you.
Amen.
My question is just simple. How do we know the life cycle of the product? Say, for instance, now, like you're using a particular phone and, from the introductory stage to the declension. So, like, how do we specify that, okay, probably this phone is going to be released in 2023, let's say 2023. So how do we know the termination, period? That, okay, it's for 4 years, 5 years. What are the determinants of, the termination period or the stage of rebranding? Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to give like a very brilliant example of the To-Go app, or let's say BlackBerry iMessaging, BlackBerry messaging, BBM. The people that made BBM must have seen that, oh, a new product came into market, a better competitor, which was the iPhone and Android. And people are buying it. Sales are declining. Yes. So if the PM cannot cannot have foresightedness and project into the future and say, sales are declining, do we rebrand? Do we acquire this competition? You've seen instances where a company that is declining will acquire, for example, Microsoft acquired ChatGPT, Stripe acquired Paystack. These were bigger competitors. Now, so that's the point where the product manager will now say, okay, what do we do? Do we keep the product there? Do we rebrand? Or do we just leave? Yeah. So the the pointers that will let you know that this product is already in a decline stage. Customers are complaining a lot about the product. Sales is decreasing. The need that the product is serving in the market is no longer needed. I'm trying to think of a product that was serving a need that is no longer needed in the market. One. While we think of that, Johnson, was I able to answer your question well?
Yes. God bless you. Thank you.
Amen. Eunice, hi. I'm glad you were able to join the class.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah. Hello. I think you're having network issues.
Can you hear me?
Eunice, can you send me a message privately so I'll answer? I think you're having
Okay, so my question. Okay, can you?
All right. Onya Adegbadebo, over to you. Our time is running out. I don't want to delay our Muslim brothers and sisters.
Okay. Hi, good evening. Well done. A beautiful class.
Thank you.
So my question is, one thing I faced in where I was working before was that there's always this, among developers, they're always looking down on product managers. Like, I don't understand it, but they feel like our jobs are as important as the COO, but it can be done by the COO. Do you understand? So they feel like, oh, the operations officer already handles that. And my major question is, what's the difference between a product manager and a COO? Like, not just an operations guy, but somebody that goes to have meetings with every other team to see that everything they've done or they are up to date on their tasks. Yes.
Yeah. So an operations manager basically just ensures that the different departments in the group, in the company is working well. An operations manager is not going to do a competitive analysis. It's not going to do a market research. It's not going to write user stories, acceptance criteria. You get to know about all this as we go on in the class. An operations please, guys. Adeyeri Bukola, Toby Adepigba, please remember to stay muted. Musa Abdullahi, please remember to stay muted. A COO is not, it's for, yes, thank you, Chief. A CEO is for the company itself. A product manager is concerned with the product and the users. A CEO is not even concerned with the user. A CEO is not going to get on calls to get user feedback. He's not going to check the user ratings of the product. Yeah, do you understand what I'm saying now? So don't allow anybody to look down on you. What I would say to you is that you sharpen your product skills as a product manager. Put your value on the table. Put your value on the table, yeah, and show that you carry value. Once they can recognize that, nobody is going to look down on you. Nobody is going to look down on you. You have your role to play, and your role is very vital. I hope I was able to answer your question. Yes, we're going to have a class governor. We're going to maybe vote for a class governor or something, because it's getting very tiring. Okay, Abalola Hayeni, my baby, hi.
Hi.
How are
Gladys.
you?
Thank you very, very much. You are amazing. You are amazing. So my question is for this product development life cycle. I saw it somewhere that we have about 4 stages. The product discovery phase. We have the product definition, product delivery. That's when we have the design, prototyping, the initial development and testing, which is the validation and testing. And then we have the product launch. That's like the go-to-market. So like, can we divide that into 4 different, like 4 phases for the product development life cycle?
Yeah. So like you said, the thing is that for easier achievable steps, it's better to have a 6-step plan than a 4-step plan. In fact, some people broke it down to almost like 8. We have 7 product development process. So, but the more it's broken down, the more achievable it seems. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. It's still the same thing. It's still the same idea. Product discovery is your ideation generation stage. So the more broken down the steps are, the more achievable they seem. So that's why I just had to go with the 6-step phases, but they are still the same thing. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right. Ilemo Bagding Rachel. I hope I was able to pronounce the question well. Please, if I'm done answering your question, please do me a favor and just put down your hand. Please just
Hello, Gladys. Please, can you hear me?
Rachel, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, this is Eunice. You told me to send my question.
Okay, Eunice, your network was bad, so I was struggling to hear you.
Yeah, you said I should send the question, so I sent it to you. I don't know if you received it.
Okay, let me check. Can you just drop
just ask?
on Slack? You can ask now. Just ask now.
Okay, so I was asking that what's the difference between a Scrum Master and a Product Manager?
Okay, so we mentioned something called Agile methodology. A Scrum Master is basically the one in charge of the Agile methodology in a company. Now, the Scrum Master works hand in hand to ensure that, the Agile methodology that a company employs is effective. But a Scrum Master does not do all these stakeholder meetings and everything that a product manager is going to be doing. Yeah. So I hope I was able to answer that.
Thank you.
The role of a product manager is much more wider than that of a Scrum Master. Some product managers even play the role of Scrum Masters in companies that do not have Scrum Masters, but it's much more wider than being a Scrum Master. So,
okay, thank you.
Yeah, Rachel. After Rachel's question, I'm going to take Moturayo's question, and that will be the last. Please, if I'm not able to take your question, just drop it on your channel, the closed channel, and I will answer it on the channel. If I need to send the VN, I'll send the VN. We just need to wrap up now.
Hi, Gladys. So I was going to ask. So you mentioned something in initial development. You mentioned something like MVP. So I was going to ask, because MVP is like the phase 1, followed by, if I'm right, followed by the growth and optimization is the phase 2, and the phase 3 is like the advanced features. So I want to ask, is the initial development also part of the product roadmap?
Also part of the what? The product?
Does it also mean product roadmap? Because you mentioned something like
Of course, the product roadmap is basically a document. We're going to describe and go through the various important documentation that a product manager writes in the process of staying in your role as a product manager. And I feel like some of these things will become more understanding, or like you'll be able to understand them more. Now, a product roadmap is a document that says that this is the point we are starting from. But in the grand scheme of things, in the next 10 to 20 years, this is where our product is going to. Now, we now start breaking it down. Yeah. So, of course, a product map starts from the initial development down to the product vision. Where are we taking this product to? For example, the product roadmap of a product like the iPhone probably started from when they started developing the iPhone 5 until God knows when. They are now at iPhone 14. God knows if they are going to iPhone 22. It will involve that. Yeah, so the product roadmap definitely involves it definitely involves the product, the idea generation. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Yes, you have. Thank you, Gladys.
All right. So Motsurayo, your question is the last one I'm going to be taking.
All right. Good evening, Ms. Gladys. Thank you very much for all you do. All right. My question is, at what stage exactly, the stage of product development, exactly does this MVP come up? Like, which of the stages does this MVP development come up?
Okay. So Your MVP, your minimum viable product, is at the point of the product launch. Now, remember that even after you've launched your MVP and you want to add more features to it, you go back again to the product development phase. And then you start at the first phase, and then you start developing, you start adding features, you prototype, you validate and test, then you launch a beta version. When you want to add another version again, you go back to the beginning of the product development. So I hope I was able to answer your question. Product development is not something that just happens once. Whether your product is fresh and just about to be launched into the market, or your product is about to just add a new feature, or you want to rebrand, product development happens at different and various stages of a product. I hope I was able to answer that question.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Okay. I have Monday and Fumi. I don't know. Will you guys send me a private message on Slack or something? We need to go now. Because of time. Okay, guys. I'm so glad that you guys turned up for this class. At a point, we had almost 100 of you here. I just wanted to applaud yourself. I know that attendance is very important, but I can assure you that we're not going to miss out anybody. We're not going to miss out on anybody. I think we're going to use a third-party tool that is going to record everybody that. Can you help me drop the Slack channel invite? Thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for making it for this class. I really appreciate you. Please, I mentioned during the orientation that something is important that you do after every class. Who can remind me, please? I want to know the people that paid attention during orientation. Go to social media, document your learning. So if I were you, I would take a screenshot of this class and post about my learning. Write something about what you learned. Let your recruiters know that hashtag product sense, hashtag Launchpad course for product managers, hashtag online product management course, hashtag I'm on my way to becoming a world-class product manager. I'll use as much as you can use, honestly, to be very honest. But ensure that there's product sense on it, ensure that there's Launchpad course for product managers on it, and ensure that you tag product sense so that I can personally repost and we can also repost on our social media. Please, guys, some of you are not yet following us on social media. The name is Product Sense on either LinkedIn, Instagram, or Twitter. So ensure that you follow us there. Ensure that you follow us there.
Don't be using loud to flood it. So don't like that.
Ensure that you follow us there. If you are yet to join the Slack channel, the link has been dropped in the chat box. Just click on it and or check your invites. There are some of you have sent you invites 3 times. Some of you, it was bouncing back. I don't know, maybe it's an email setting. But some people have 3 Slack invites in their day and their inbox or promotion that they've not clicked on. So check your promotion, click on this link and join the Slack community. We're always having fun on our Slack channel. So ensure that you do that. Yes, Chioma, you're going to get a recording of today's class. I think someone already answered that. You're going to get a recording and a slide of today's class. That will be done after every single class so that you can go over it again. I'm also going to share the take-home assignment for this week. You're going to get it tonight. Our next class is going to be Saturday or Sunday, but most likely Saturday. So ensure you turn up in your numbers. You don't want to miss any class. We're going to be talking about user research in the next class. You'll be hearing of user persona. You'll be hearing of market research, competitive analysis. Come with your pen and papers ready. And I'm going to be teaching you. It's one of my best topics to teach. So come ready, guys. So I'm just going to stop recording now. Thank you so much, everyone, for being a part of today's class. I love you guys so much. I am so proud of you. Please, sorry, we don't know your full name. Please just ensure